Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host Stan Rattan and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And if my voice sounds a little different, I've been fighting a cold. I had terrible fever last weekend. I get sick like once every 3 years, and you know, when it hits me hard. So I'm recovering from that, not fully recovered yet. But, you know, I just have to record a program. I have to do it. I miss it. It's Saturday, the 18th of October. I will be putting this out on Monday. I'm recording a couple on Saturday. Just give me a little head start so I'm not so pressured. You know, I find sometimes when I do these videos on my lunch break from my job, it tends to be a little stressful to get it done, get everything sealed up. So I'm doing this a little bit ahead of time. I hope that doesn't bother you. I just feel like I should be honest about that. I was so disappointed that the Seahawks lost to Dallas. I mean, they can lose to anybody, but not the Dallas Cowboys. You just can't lose to Dallas at home. You know, and I don't blame the team. I mean, you know, they let down a little bit, but I thought the play calling was atrocious. I think the offensive coordinator did a lousy job. I thought they could have done a better job of calling plays. You know, that's the way I see it. Now, Percy Harvin has been traded to the Jets. I did not see that one coming. Curious as to why they made that move. It might have been Percy himself that wanted out. I don't know. I'm sure it'll all come out in the end. But you know, I don't know if that's a devastating blow or not. Percy, you know, he contributed some good stuff to the offense. It was a nice little run for him. I wish him all the success in the world with the Jets. But I'll be curious to see how all this fleshes out for the Seahawks. Because I still believe that the Seahawks have a chance to go to the Super Bowl again. So, we'll see how that goes. Dallas, you know, having a good team right now, but Seattle should have and could have beat them this last Sunday. Excited about the World Series. I know the Mariners aren't in it. They have their chance. I think they're going to build. I think they're going to be there soon. But this is kind of exciting. Kansas City Royals and San Francisco Giants. I'm kind of behind the Giants on this one. I like the Giants. They're kind of my second team to the Mariners. Yeah, I love Buster Posey. I think he's a great catcher. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Both of them are great small ball players. It's going to be an exciting World Series, and I hope it goes 7 games with the Giants winning it all. By the way, if you want to make a comment, I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think the Seahawks' final season record will be? They're 3-2 right now. I think they're going to lose a couple more. I think they're going to be 12-4. What do you think about that? Is that right? 16? Yeah, 12-4. What do you think? What is your prediction for the Seattle Seahawks? Let me know. Make a comment. I'd like to hear it. And I have some subscribers out there. I'm going to try and figure out the whole link thing. Okay, so today I'm trying 3 wines I have never tried before. A new winery I'm not familiar with. That happens, you know, no matter how long we're in the wine world, things pass by our radar. I remember one time making an article about Kennedy Shaw, and somebody sort of made a snarky comment, you know, they've been in Costco for whatever. I said, well, you know, I don't buy wine at Costco. Sorry, I didn't see it there, but this is new to me. If it's new to me, I'm going to say it. These are new to me, and then we're going to taste a Charlie Hoppus wine from Fidelitas. He's kind of downscaling. He's removing a lot of his reds, and he's doing a Red Mountain red blend. You know, I don't know how far he's downscaling. I don't know the whole story yet, but I hear that he is eliminating a lot of his different wines and just going to a few wines from Red Mountain, which is quite interesting. An interesting direction to go for Charlie Hoppus, because we all know variety is a spice of life. A lot of people like different things. So how strategic is it? How good of a business move is it to scale down to just a couple of wines? I don't know. But it's interesting that he's going that direction. Charlie Hoppus has been very successful throughout the years as a Washington winemaker. So, we'll see. He's a smart man. He knows what he's doing. I'm going to leave it in his hands. But I'm glad to get a bottle sample of this wine. Which reminds me, unedited, of course. I wrote down the price of his wine. I wanted to make sure, because I write the prices on the back of the label so I can just tell you what they are, but sometimes the labels do not lend themselves to writing on them. So let me see real quick in my notebook. There it is. Okay, good. All right, I have the price. Let's get started. We're going to start off with Obelisco Estate Red Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon 2011, estate grown. This one rolls in at $50, so we're not talking small change here. There's a label for you. Now, my understanding is that Duckhorn has released a new red wine called Canvasback, Cabernet based, and they purchased their fruit from this winery, Obelisco. So, there you go. Now, I know that Duckhorn made a move to buy some property on Red Mountain. They didn't win the bid. So, but a lot of California wineries are looking to Washington. They understand the value of the fruit. Global warming has made it, a lot of the California wines, they're suffering from droughts down there. A lot of things going on. So global warming, these wineries know it's a real thing, and so they're responding by moving up to Washington, which is consistently producing great fruit. Let's see what we get on the nose with this one. It's funny today. I'm feeling 100% better than I did last weekend, but my ears are ringing like crazy. I mean, I'm watching some college football, and I'm just like getting this whole ringing thing going on. Just a lot of red currants. This has a really what you call a very resonant nose. In other words, it goes deep. A lot of times you smell a wine, you just kind of get these whiffs of these flavors. This one goes a lot deeper than that. There's something there. There's more than just the average wine. Little vanilla, mocha, little cedar, wood. A little tobacco. Get some red flower notes. By the way, I would never do an episode with a stuffed nose. How could you do justice to the wines? My smelling is really clear right now. It's very precise. I feel good about it. So for you wineries, if you're watching these episodes and you're going, oh, he's sick, I'm not sick, I'm recovering, and my smelling is dead on. There's some interesting, a little bit of a minerality, a little bit of forest flora, not a lot, just a hair, which I like. And there's that that earthiness that comes from Red Mountain. And I always, everybody goes, what is it? I don't know. It's just a Red Mountain smell. It's the Red Mountain smell. It's there. Let's see what we get on the palate. Intense, very intense on the palate. I like the spiciness on this wine. Extremely spicy. A lot of white pepper and black pepper notes coming through. A little bit of that natural licorice. A lot of currants, loads of currants. The tannins are soft on this. I'm not getting any like real tannic grip. This is actually very approachable right now. 2011 is was considered a difficult year in Washington, although I know a lot of winemakers like 2011 because they didn't get as much heat, as much fruit extraction. They could control a little bit better, and you know, there's a lot of winemakers out there that like that. They like it when it's a little challenged because they can develop a more feminine style wine, showing off more of the floral notes, which this one does. It's not so bombastic fruit-wise. Get a little red cherries, currants, good acidity, but all well integrated. This is a very well integrated wine. Nice balance, good spice, nice finish. It finishes elegant, but yet at the same time has some depth to it. Definitely oak notes come through on the backside. I get a little tiny grip on that one. That one's actually very difficult to dump out of my glass. It's $50. I understand that that's a lot of money. Sorry, I got something weird in my mouth. Unedited. Yeah, I mean, it's $50, I know. I've tasted a lot of $50 cabs from the from the state of Washington, and this falls in the upper 10% of what I've tasted. I think it's worth all of $50. It's going to age nicely. It's got a lot of qualities to it that will lend itself to aging. I'm going to go B+, A- on that one. I'm not going to go A- fully because of the $50 mark and because of what I'm getting out of the wine for the price. You know, I'm going to go A-. I'm sorry, I am. I'm going to go A- on that one. Very good cab, a lot of good qualities, approachable now, but will develop over the next 5 to 8 years. All right, move on to the next one. Obelisco Estate, Red Mountain, Syrah, 2011. This goes in at $40. So, for those of you who don't know, Washington is one of the best sources of Syrah in the world. They're on the same parallel as the Rhone Valley, which means, of course, that you know they grow a lot of good Syrah there, and we grow a lot of great Syrah here. In fact, the top 3 varietals, in my opinion, for Washington State are Riesling, Merlot, and Syrah. And I think there's quite a few of you out there that would agree with that. So let's see what we get on the nose. Obelisco, Syrah, Red Mountain. Bacon fat, tar, tobacco, boysenberry. A little vanilla from the oak, obviously. It has almost like a candy-esque, like if you could take tar and make it into a candy, that's what you'd get. That's what I get on the nose. I really like a Syrah that shows a lot of bacon fat. It's such a nice aroma, and I just wish I could get a line. I wish I could get a little class of about like 25 people and find like 4 examples of Syrah that really show that bacon fat. Cook up some bacon, let it cool down a bit. You know, have them smell that fatty part. You know, the stuff that's left over, and then smell the Syrah. I think you'd really get it. And Syrah also shows a lot of blueberry. I'm getting a little bit of blue fruits on this one, which is very common. Now let's see what we get on the palate. Forgot to turn off the phone. This is a beauty. I mean, smooth, polished, round, structured. I get blueberry, I get bacon fat, I get raspberry, I get boysenberry, I get all those things with a little bit of white pepper going on. And that red mountain dirt. I don't know any other way to describe it except it's red mountain dirt. A lot of licorice too. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. It has a little bit of that coat roti-ish thing for those of you who get to taste coat roti, and I don't get to taste a lot of them. A lot of those babies go for $300 to $600 a bottle. This has a lot of those qualities and it has an underlying like rusticity, like dirty but not, you know, like very controlled forest floor notes. That bacon fat just lingers with the blueberries and the boysenberries and a little bit of currant coming through. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Washington Syrah. I don't find a lot that show as well as this one does, and I think $40 is a good price point for this wine. I am going to go A+. A+. Did you hear me? A+. This hits the mark and goes beyond it for a Washington State Syrah. It's a beauty. I'm going to have a really hard time pouring this one out. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to pour it out. Wow. The spices, a little bit of vanilla. The oak is in good balance. The fruit is phenomenal. It's from 2011. Again, not an easy vintage. Not an easy vintage, but they did a nice job with this wine. Wow. Yep, A+. You heard it from me. Let's move on to Charlie's new effort. He has red blend from Fidelitas. He calls it Fidelitas 2012 40-40 Red. Now let's see if we can read the back of this. Fidelitas is a family-owned winery where owner and veteran winemaker Charlie Hoppus is dedicated to producing small lot wines from the finest vineyards. Fidelitas is faithful to Bordeaux grape varieties, loyal to modern craft winemaking techniques, and true to Washington State's Red Mountain terroir. 40-40, the average of the Red Mountain AVA is a dedication to the region we call home. 40-40, the acreage of the Red Mountain AVA is a dedication to the region we call home. So what does that mean? They have 4,040 acres? Probably. This is 54% Cabernet Sauvignon, 33% Merlot, 8% Cab Franc, and 5% Petit Verdot. So very much so a Bordeaux blend, and I will show you the label. I've always liked Charlie's label. Can you see that? I can't even tell it's such a dark label. There we go. All right. This rolls in at $32. Okay? Let's go ahead. Let's go right there with that. Let's see what Charlie's up to these days. Charlie's a huge football fan, by the way. I met Charlie a couple of times, and really like the guy. Very down to earth. Speaking of earth, this has a lot of it on it. A lot of forest floor elements, a lot of that red mountain dirt. Very deep kind of currant notes. Little black olive and tobacco. A little bit closed. I mean, I'm not getting a huge amount out of this. I get a little like toasted bread elements coming through. Once again, this is a wine. All of these, in fact, I would suggest that you find some sort of decanter, whether it's a pitcher or if you have a decanter or whatever, dump the wine in there, let it air out before you drink it. Seriously, you're doing yourself a favor. These wines need time to breathe. They've only been open they've been open long enough for this program, but certainly I could have decanted every one of them and it would have improved them quite a bit. They're all drinking really good anyway. Well, I haven't tried the Fidelidad yet, so let's move on. I'm even getting a skosh, just a skosh of green bell pepper. Let's see what we get on palate. Wow. 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 Chocolate, currants. It's very, very, very spicy on the palate. I mean, I'm like, wow. Wow. It reminds me a little bit of a Vaccaraz versus a Bordeaux. I have yet to taste a Bordeaux that is that spicy. I have tasted Vaccaraz that is that spicy. I'm getting white pepper, black pepper, a little bit of maybe some nutmeg elements coming through. Currants all day. Very, very approachable tannins. Very sturdy wine. Very sturdy, but very rich. 2012, excellent vintage. And this is showing that vintage quite well. Good fruit, but not over the top. It doesn't go jammy. Good structure. Right on the backside, right on the very backside, you get a little bit of that green bell pepper element coming through, and that forest floor kind of comes through there. That red mountain dirt is definitely there. It's obvious. Wow, wow. If I want A plus on the Obelisco Syrah, I have to go A on this one. It is very well built. Very, very rich without, like I said, without going to the jammy side. Doesn't go to the jammy side of the universe. Doesn't get like goopy or anything like that. Good structure. Very nice wine. $32. It's the cheapest of all of them. Not cheap. It's the least expensive of all these wines, and it is showing beautifully. And I love that little bit of herbaceousness on the back end. Just adds a little bit of more characteristic to the wines. We love complexity. All of these have complexity. They're all great. A plus, A minus. Yes. Good job, guys. Red Mountain. You know it. My favorite appellation. Thanks for watching. Make a comment. Give me that prediction for the Seahawks record at the end of the year. I'm saying 12-4. What do you say? Thanks for watching. Cheers. And here's to keeping the snob out of wine.